Today we're doing a long-term review on the Nitto Ridge Grappler, and we've brought you up into this misty, godforsaken place. It's actually not misty and godforsaken, it's actually amazing up here. This is the Styx Valley in southern Tasmania, and I brought you up here because there's actually an amazing view of a ridge behind us that you can't actually see at the moment. So it's just, the weather's not with us today. We started out with umbrellas, but it doesn't really matter anymore. But anyway, these tyres, it's actually appropriate that it's raining today because the first thing I have to say about the Nitto Ridge Grappler is how good they are in the wet. So these are a aggressive all-terrain tyre, so it's halfway between an all-terrain and a mud-terrain. And they have the shoulder blocks of a mud-terrain tyre, so bigger spacing, not quite as big a spacing as an actual mud-terrain tyre, and the centre blocks of more of an all-terrain tyre, and they've got that blend and the personality, which makes you think that they wouldn't be that great on the road. The other thing about them as well is that they're about 6 kilos heavier than your average 285 70-17. So the Cooper XLTs that I had on my car for a while there, a little while back, are 24 kilos, and actually these are about 30 kilos for the 295 70-17. Main difference is the strength of their construction. And so the Coopers they're a really good all-terrain tyre, but they don't have the three-ply casing or three-ply sidewalls that these do, and they're heavier build. So again, something that says that they probably wouldn't be as good on the road, but they are. They're really good in the wet. And one of the things I noticed was that I don't actually have to slow down to wet speeds in the wet around roundabouts and that sort of thing. They stick to the ground in the wet, which is amazing. That weight though does mean that they're not quite as good in the dry. By that I mean they stick to the ground really well, but you can feel the heaviness through the steering wheel. And so that means that they're perhaps not as much of a driver's tyre, but they are actually, their other attributes actually counterbalance that. And so I really rate these tyres. You don't normally hear me get too excited about tyres because they're all pretty good, they're all black and round and that sort of stuff, but if I was going to plonk some hard cash down at the moment, I would spend some money on these for sure. There's lots of other really good tyres out there, but these are actually spot on for the person that wants an all-terrain tyre that also has the aggressiveness of a mud-terrain tyre, but they don't want to have the sound of a mud-terrain tyre, so that constant whirring in the background. So there is actually some tyre noise to them as well. So they're not as quiet as an all-terrain tyre. So the Coopers that I was talking about, for example, before, they're really quiet and they're really comfortable. These are not as comfortable, they're sort of middle of the road. There is a roar to them, but it's a low down roar. It's not like there's a pitch to the roar or anything like that. So there is some aspects to counterbalance them, but if you are looking for an aggressive all-terrain tyre, I can't hesitate to recommend these. There's a few others in this category at the moment. All of them are really good, all of them have their different attributes, but after 10,000 Ks or 9,300 or so far, I really can recommend these tyres. So that's the Nitto Ridge Grappler. I can see why the people on the forums and on Facebook groups and that sort of thing are actually going off for them, because they are actually a spot-on good tyre for their category. Oh yeah, my cameraman's giving me a little thing. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and subscribe. We're going to start bringing you some other sorts of videos, so some reviewers, rides and that sort of thing. So tag along for our journey and we'll see where we go. Thanks everyone for tuning in.